Hey, Spaz here back with another YouTube video, and today I want to talk about the Xbox Series X previews and reports of shorter load times, and we have a total of 825 gigs of user storage out of your 1 terabyte. So let's get to it. So finally, some people in this world have got their hands on an Xbox Series X, and if you're one of the lucky few who has got one, you are one lucky person, because I would just love to have my hands on, even for a short period, just to try one out. But if you're big in the world, obviously I'm only starting out, haven't started that long. But if you're a pretty major influencer or somebody in the tech industry, and I don't know how many have got it out, but there's a few people that has it, and obviously due to the NDAs or whatever they're called over in America, that they're NDA, I think it is, that you're not allowed to only do show certain things of it, and it's only a preview, and there was only a few backwards compatible games that are available on it. But you know what? At least, they've got the console out, they're giving people an idea of what it's like, they're letting them review to a certain degree and they try things out, and I don't know, I think that's fantastic. I've got a wee article linked to this, so I'm going to drop in the video description below for you, and just want to talk about a few wee things. So obviously one of the big things is the load time, so the short load time. So I think there's only a list of so many games that you can actually try out and are loading up quicker. There's a few in this article. If you want to read through it, but I'm just maybe just going to mention a couple. The first one they've mentioned here is Destiny 2, and so if you're running on the Xbox, I think it was Xbox Series X, it's running at 1 minute and 52 seconds to boot up the game. But if you're running it from the Series X, it's 43 seconds. The next one they mentioned here is Red Dead Redemption 2, so it takes 1 minute and 35 seconds to load up, and on the Series X it takes 52 seconds, so that's nearly half the time. Not quite, but nearly half the time. And one other they just mentioned here off the bat was Sea of Thieves, which took on the Xbox One X a minute and 21 seconds, and only took 20 seconds to boot up on the Xbox Series X. That's to me, that's remarkable, and people are going to look at that and say, they're either going to be impressed or going to not be impressed. But me personally think I'm impressed with it. Now, one of the reasons why. Now, for a game that is just the same game that's running on the Xbox Series X, and it has not been enhanced in any shape or form, is going to automatically do this from day one without any enhancements. So you're bringing the game across, not been touched whatsoever. You're just playing it from one console to the other, and it has drastically, to me, it's a brave cut down on speed that like if they can shave off a minute or even half the time, or some of them's actually far is greater than that again. But if they can do that without anything else needed, any patches for any developers, that is fantastic and it's amazing to me. One other comment I just want to make on this before I move on to the next part I want to talk about. Now, if a game has been optimized, or a future game that's designed only for the Series X will be using the Velocity architecture. So what you're seeing now, is it unoptimized? The game's obviously designed to run on it. They can run, backwards compatible, can run on the new console. But imagine that game. So if you're cutting the load down on half or more, and plus then if you enhance that further and you have the game fully designed off the new SSD with the Velocity architecture, that is going to go down drastically again as well. I would say, if a game's possibly taking a minute and a half, and they can cut it down to between 30 seconds to a minute, I would say they're going to be under a minute, or under 30 seconds easily. Maybe even 20 seconds, or in some cases, depending on the game, maybe 10 seconds. Do you know what I mean? Or less, depends on how well they can optimize it. Maybe at the start it's not going to be as good, but see later on down the line when they make use of this technology and the new Velocity architecture, I think it's going to be amazing. The speed of these consoles, even booting up on the cold boot as well. I don't know, haven't got the load time off here, but I think it was greatly reduced, so it was as well. And then if you could cold boot your system, your new Xbox Series X, to boot up really fast, plus then if you're using the velocity architecture for a game that's optimized for it, imagine how long, you could be in a game well under a minute. Depending on what it is, obviously some might be more, but depending how heavy, how big the game is and what's need to load it up for it. But you could be in the game in seconds, or 5-10 seconds, or give or take. But I think that's class, what but now I can't wait to get my hands on the Series X when it comes out. Hopefully get it in day dot. But if it got it pre-ordered, we'll have to see what happens. But I hear there's a lot of rumours of pre-orders being maybe not coming, but that's a separate video. But so we'll go on to the next video thing I want to talk about. And they had mentioned, so out of your 1TB storage you're getting from your SSD, you're only getting 802 gigabytes. So obviously, whenever you format a drive, I've done a video on this before, but I just want to put it out in this. So that's what it actually is, because it was sort of, I sort of would have been in. I thought it'd been in around what the Xbox One X was, and I think you get 790, was it? If memory serves me right. Gigs to use. So you're getting 802 with the Xbox Series X. So when you format your drive, plus they have to install the operating system, plus they need a cache of data on the system as well. So obviously, because the Xbox Series X and Series S has the quick resume, so you can jump in and out of games. So the rumor was there's some people test there, and I think it was up to 6 games you could jump in and out with no problems. And not there's problems, but you could probably go on beyond that. But I think one would probably load out of that pool of cache from the SSD. So plus that, I think did somebody say there's 100 gig or something? And I must look that up and try and maybe link that below if I find it again. But I think 100 gigs was of that 198 gig that's that you can't use is for that cache of data. So you've got that plus your operating system, and then you don't get the full amount anyway. So of the total storage. So it's not bad, to be honest with you. So 802 gig. Granted, it's not going to be a lot of games you're going to be able to install. Depending on what you're installing. If you're into more indie games and games that don't take up as much space, then fine, you're going to be able to store a brave bit on it. But if you're somebody who's into the latest Call of Duty or some of the big heavy hitters like Grand Theft Auto or whatever, and so on, some of them games, I think if you take Call of Duty, some of them maybe weigh all your DLC and whatever the addition is, everything. You're talking somewhere nearly up to 200 gig, give or take. And Grand Theft Auto, I think, is maybe 100 and some. So if you take a few of them games, you're not going to get a lot installed in this. So if you get 102 gig, and say you have a Call of Duty games with knock off 200 gig, 100 gig say for Grand Theft Auto, so there's 300, nearly 300 gig out of 800 that you've used with 2 games. So there's ways and means you can deal with it, with different storages and stuff. So I want to do a wee bit more of a video on that, so I'll leave that for another time. But look, it is what it is. The console's powerful, and this is what they need to to run it and get the way it is. And people like that you can do the quick resume, you can jump in and out of games, and so it's fast, and it needs it. It's a powerful console, and yeah, it is what it is. I was sort of thinking around that's what it's going to be, give or take. The same as the last one, which was they've saved a wee bit of space. Obviously, the last one there's a wee bit less. It's only 10 or 20 at the most or something. But it's just a few wee thoughts I've had on it. But we'll have to see what happens. Can't wait to test it out, as I say again. Which we're getting ever so closer. We're nearly into. So as we're recording this here, I'm on the 30th and 9th. I'm not sure. Hopefully it'll be uploaded soon. But we've only sort of really another month and a week or two to go. I can't wait to get my hands on it, have to test it out, get a few videos done, get them uploaded, and see what other people are thinking of it as well. And we'll go from there. Here, if you like this content, you like this video that I've created, or any other videos I've done, if you want to like, subscribe, and if you want to be notified when any other videos drop, feel free to hit the wee notification button. And here, I'll see you all soon. See you later. Bye.